the latest dose of bipolar recorder. This podcast may cause dizziness and blurred vision. Enjoy.
Hey y'all, it's Hunter from Bipolar Recorder. I hope you've been well, and I actually wanted to try something a little bit different today. It's December 17th, 2023 at the time of this recording, and I usually write little scripts to help guide me during the intros and epilogues for each of these installments of the podcast, but I thought it might be interesting to just go without a script today, do it a little bit more off the cuff, maybe a little bit more organic than I typically do it. But anyhow, a few nights ago, I was hosting a peer support group on the Twitter/X space platform. And as a lot of you know, the peer support aspect of the Bipolar Recorder project has become a huge component of things. And it's something that I've been very closely involved with for the last 2 years by using the Twitter space public audio chat features to actually organize and develop a mental health community. And we have a lot of really, really good conversations throughout the course of those meetings or support sessions or whatever you want to call them. A woman who I was not very familiar with, I had seen her in spaces a couple of times before, but she and I had never really had a extended conversation. Her name is Annette, and as I was talking with a few other people who were in the space, Annette had been listening in for quite some time. And when the topic of psychedelic drugs, which is something that comes up during these discussions pretty frequently because it's an emerging area in terms of therapy and mental health benefits, psychological benefits. So that is a common thing that comes up during a lot of our dialogues. And that actually chimed in, and that surprised me because maybe it's a sign that I'm a little bit too closed-minded or something, but I just wouldn't have anticipated that Annette would be the type of individual to partake in psychedelics. You know, she was a little bit older than me, middle-aged, kind of soft-spoken and unassuming, very polite. So when she chimed in and was like, yeah, I do mushrooms or I do ketamine, I was kind of caught off guard. But Annette continued speaking to us about her experiences and some of the reasons why she incorporates psychedelics into her life these days. And as she continued speaking, I began to learn more about her, and I started recognizing the gravity of what she was saying and the importance and seriousness of it. And I wanted to share the audio with you all on the podcast. I did get Annette's permission to pull this audio, and I'm so glad that she was willing to let me use it because this is just a really good example of the types of support and dialogues that abound in our space community. And it's just really important stuff. So I'm going to roll the audio. I'm not going to provide too much additional context because I want you all to experience it the way I did and learn in real time the different levels and layers to this story. I will say, just as an advisement, it does have to do with the topic of suicide and it gets pretty heavy, but it's also really beautiful. With all that said, I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to roll the audio. There is one point during this recording where I'll jump in with a quick voiceover. But apart from that, this is primarily Annette speaking, and you'll hear my voice a couple of times, and it sounds really congested because I was actually recovering from a little bit of an illness at the time. So I apologize that my voice sounds kind of lame, but and that sounds great, and that's what matters.
I I started taking mushrooms once in a while. I
Word,
think it. I
Annette.
think it. Oh yes, I think it helps. I
Yeah.
really, really do.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I can't even tell you. It just it rewires stuff. I know too. When I was taking, I don't take any more medications from pharmacy,
Uh-huh.
but when I was doing that, they had a program here at ketamine infusion because I had become medication resistant, depressive, whatever. So it was called My Son Died. Like, give me a fucking break.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided to do this ketamine program, which they'd infuse over 45 minutes. And the first time I went, I really didn't like it. And it is like a psychedelic ketamine. And first time I did it, I really didn't like it, but I was fighting it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, when I fought it, it was counterproductive. It was not good.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I did some more research on it before my next there was articles and things, and I
Yeah.
took in meditation music
Mm-hmm.
in with earphones, like
Yeah.
the big kind you put on your head,
Yeah.
and I I flew over the fucking pyramids,
Yeah.
and it reset everything.
It's amazing.
It was amazing, and yet, 45 minutes, an hour later, you feel totally normal again.
So bizarre how that works.
Well,
Good
I
question.
can't tell you much about the ketamine really, but the I know the mushrooms they talk about microdosing, and you just but anyway, they say a macrodose
Yeah,
about every 3 months can be beneficial to someone who suffers from depression.
for sure.
So anyway, lately I think I just been doing the macrodose every 3 months. And my husband actually encourages it. He said, you're starting to get a little, you could maybe use some. So I know I did some the night of his birthday. We all did some. That
That's
was a
so rad.
crazy night. We had about 25 people here, four of us high on mushrooms, this other couple and us hosting all these fucking people high on mushrooms. But you know what? I needed that night because I'd been building, and like we were fighting, we were scrapping, and I'm just so glad things are slowly returning to normal.
Annette, it sounds like you really party, and I dig that.
It wasn't always this way. I like I said, my son died 6 years ago,
Wow.
and I 4 years were very dark, very,
Yeah.
very dark. And it's like I'm catching up, and just catching up, just you know, just trying to enjoy it.
Yeah.
As bleak and horrible as it doomsdayish as they say it's going to be. You know, you got to make every day life just the best you can for you, and that's all you can do, right?
At this point in the conversation, one of the other listeners chimes in and mentions that he had seen some posts that Annette had made about her son previously.
That video you shared though, Annette, of your son, that was really freaking good. The talent is, yeah, that was a great song. What a talent. Thanks for sharing that.
I can drop another one if you guys are interested in
Yeah,
seeing who my son was.
for sure, absolutely.
Okay, cool. So let me go look that up, and I'll jimmy that up. I'll share a couple of them. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Annette left for a couple of minutes to post some videos of her son on her profile. She then shared them in the space using a feature on Twitter called Nests.
Hey, Annette, I saw the video of your son that you posted. I can't listen to the audio right now, obviously, but that's super cool. I didn't know he was a musician, and that is sick, and I will check that out later.
Yeah, he's got a channel. Uh, well, you'll see it. It's a YouTube video. So yeah,
Yeah.
he left a lot of videos. I think my favorite one is he does a cover of LMAFO.
Ah,
I'm sexy and I know it.
yeah, yeah.
That one, it doesn't matter what. He had a lot of most of his music was kind of morose and sad,
Uh-huh.
but but that was like one of the only upbeat ones he ever did, and he smiles and laughs. I know every expression in his face in that video. I've watched it so many times. But
Wow.
but he was super super talented, and it's he took his life. It was 34,
Wow.
and yeah, the world is not a better place without him. And whenever I've done it in my mind, try to convince myself that really they don't need these burdens, they don't need you. The world would be a better place without you. And that's not true. That's that
Yeah.
evil bad voice in your head telling you that negative self-talk wherever you learned it. Growing up, probably, I don't know. You just came by it naturally and like, stop it. Anyway, I will live another day to talk about it. And I just really enjoyed your space tonight. I don't often share as much as I am tonight, and it just felt right. It just felt comfortable, and just be kind to yourself. Just go slow. Give yourself credit if you do one thing that day, just that's it. And just give yourself lots of patience and love and all those things. I find it very difficult to do to myself when I'm in that place. But,
Right.
it's getting better.
Annette, thank you so much for sharing all of that incredibly personal and like intense stuff. It's such an honor that you are so vulnerable and like willing to be so open. And I think earlier we were talking about showing self-compassion, and I think you show a lot of compassion for yourself in your grieving process. And it's something. And so, first of all, I just really wanted to thank you for sharing all of that. It's incredible that people come out here and share things of that magnitude and these little, these little spaces that we host. And it's super, super cool. And something that I wanted to ask you that I was really curious about is did you always find that the videos brought you comfort, or was there a time where you found that they were too painful?
Well, a month after he died, I was admitted to hospital into the inpatient psychiatric. And I had to get admitted to a hospital in the next city over because I worked at the one in our city. So that was a reality check right there. Mama psych nurse can't even save her own son, you know. But while I was in the hospital, I watched his videos a lot. And I used to have him on my screensaver on my phone. And I found the less that I watched them, and when I took that screensaver off my phone, I still remembered him. It just wasn't in my face all the time. But yeah, it was hard. And different songs, things. I remember a day or two after it started to snow. And my husband said I checked out for a little bit, and when I all of a sudden there was all these police officers and counselors and shit standing in my living room, and it just the snow brought on a kind of a psychosis. It was like, because he would have went snowboarding because he loved to play, and he would have, yeah, he would have been off at the snowboard. It's snowing. But I'm glad they're there now. I can watch them now. But I usually end off with that I'm sexy and I know it one. I'm going to throw that one down there too.
Hell yeah. Wow. That is some heavy stuff, but it sounds like, you know, over time, you know, with time, perspective changes, I guess. Do you find these days, like, do you prefer it not being so in your face?
uh, I don't know. The last 2 years has just been easier. And this past summer was so awesome. It was scary to slip into depression this fall because I'd never been without meds and gone into a real funk. And goes right back to like nutrition, sunlight, grounding, uh, nature, friends, not isolating. I know all the things to do. I've left the medical system. I don't have a counselor anymore either.
Uh,
She was my counselor. She was a suicide loss. She ran the suicide loss group, which I was a part of. And there was a point in the pandemic where they excluded unvaccinated people from the suicide loss group. Yeah, you had to have the vax. It was brutal, you know? I
yeah,
also volunteered for a rebound youth program. I'm a retired psych nurse
yeah,
with experience with teens and adolescents with mental health issues and stuff. I volunteered, fucking volunteered,
yeah,
and I was there the last one before they shut down, the first one when they opened up again, And then all of a sudden, the thing that had slipped through the cracks, their organization, oh, well, we have a vaccine mandate now. Like fucking family members, friends of 30 years, nurse colleagues. So many relationships have ended. But you know what? Once you've had a loss like losing your child, these other relationships are insignificant.
Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Work out. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Work out. And I'm walking the spot. This is what I see. People always stopping and staring at me. I got passion in my pants, and I ain't afraid to show it, show it, show it. Say what? 'Cause I'm sexy and I know it. Yeah, what? 'Cause I'm sexy and I know it. Come on, yeah, I'm sexy and I know it. 'Cause I'm sexy and I know it. Come on, yeah, sexy and I know it.
That's Annette's son, Matt, covering Sexy and I Know It by LMFAO. If you'd like to join in on conversations like this one, follow us on Twitter/X at Bipolar Recorder. I'm on Twitter/X at HHKeegan. Remember that we're also on Instagram, Mastodon, Wisdom, etc. Appreciate you all checking this out, and I especially appreciate people like Annette for joining the space community and being part of our peer support groups. It's really, really incredible when we have people come out and share stories like this. It really adds perspective, and it's such a incredible thing to be part of. My name is Hunter Keegan. Have a safe day, evening, or night, wherever you are.
Bipolar Recorder is a listener-supported show. To help keep the show running, consider checking out our Patreon page or visiting bipolarrecorder.com.
Unless otherwise stated, the hosts and guests on Bipolar Recorder are not licensed mental health professionals. Bipolar Recorder is not a substitute for therapy or professional medical intervention. If you are having a mental health crisis, please contact your local emergency services.